Let's talk about some big numbers with the so-called trader stocks, meme stocks, whatever you want to call them. What the heck happened yesterday afternoon? Why did they just, like someone threw gasoline on them?
Yeah, exactly right. And these stocks had sort of been laying low for a while. But the meme stocks certainly were back yesterday, Brian, and in big numbers, the sort that Robinhood really appreciates because so many of those traders trade through that particular trading app. So, for instance, AMC stock was up 20% yesterday, and they were buying, I think, 30,000 of the 45 calls that expire this Friday. So, obviously, a very short-term bet, but nonetheless a big bet, 30,000 of those calls. And again, since these stocks hadn't exactly been on fire lately, it was all about a comeback for these meme stocks. GameStop, same thing. GameStop was up huge. It didn't have as big a options volume as AMC, but it certainly had a very strong move. And then you kind of look over at, well, what else are people buying maybe that was beaten down? And I bet you can't guess what that might be, Brian.
Chinese internet stocks like Alibaba. I watch CNBC, John.
Yep. Yeah, I know. You host CNBC, and you're exactly right. The Chinese internet stocks, you know, PDD, JD, Billy, Baba, these are all stocks that had just been slammed. And we'd talked about them with you and some of your guest hosts recently, that there were big bets placed over the last 3 weeks, I guess, that these stocks would go lower and that China would continue to fight against these companies. And they had. These stocks were down. You know, you look at 5-day graphs, they basically bottomed maybe last Thursday, Brian, and then they started coming back and coming back strong. So those that I named, JD was up, 14%, and they were buying the August 75 calls. They were big buyers of Alibaba, basically for the last 4 days as well. And, you know, just take your pick. I'm sure some of the ETFs that cover it were also pretty hot.
Yeah, but look at it, JD is at 74 and 68, and they're buying 75 calls for August. That's pretty much all she wrote. I guess we got to look for the next options trade.
Yeah, probably. And there have been a bunch of really strong trades in EVs. So maybe some of those companies like NIO, like Fisker, like Lucid are about to similarly make these big moves, Brian, because there was building volume in those names over the last couple days as well. The moves just weren't as exaggerated as the ones I just described.
No, certainly. And is there anything, before we let you go, John, quickly, is there anything you can point to from a news perspective that would have lit off all this new interest in GameStop, AMC, and others? I mean, it literally, I couldn't find a trigger. It just seemed to come out of nowhere.
Yeah, it really did. And the usual, you know, there was chatter on the message boards like Reddit and Twitter, but there was not a significant upgrade or news event that would have caused these kinds of moves. No.